out of the box, it works for you. And GNOME is an accessible environment. That's a screenshot that was taken to show the new features in 3.6 about accessibility. Many people have vision problems. They can't see all these colors, they can't see the small characters, everything. So GNOME built-in has zoom functionalities for people who need it. It has functionalities to to invert the colors, to make it black and white for people who need more contrast because they can't see gradients and colors and stuff. It has a screen reader which is built in, works out of the box if you need it. It has many accessibility features for people who, well, for people who need it, the disabled, the blind, the people who have bad motor coordinations. And what has changed in 3.6, just like for the input methods, GNOME wanted to have accessibility work out of the box for everybody. So in the past, the accessibility stack, all those libraries and programs that you need for accessibility, they were disabled by default. And so if you're blind and you need a screen reader, you needed to first enable the screen reader, which is very hard to do when you don't have a screen reader already. GNOME 3.6, what they did, the developers, is that they fixed all the performance problems that could happen when you had the accessibility stack enabled, and then they enabled it by default. For the first time, if you need a screen reader, the accessibility stack is all there. It's all working out of the box. And it has no major performance impact that could be measured. And so if you're blind and you want to use GNOME, you can do that. You don't need first to ask somebody who's not blind to help you enable the features you need.
Have there been any usability studies on disabled people or even blind people using it?
I don't know. Probably, I think Sun had made usability studies in the past, what led to GNOME 2.
Yeah.
And many of the principles of these studies are still used now to build the new interfaces. I don't know, honestly. I think now, especially that it's enabled by default, it would be a great time to start doing it and see what people need. I mean, there are still many things that are not possible. For example, the distribution installer, like Anaconda, is not accessible to blind people. So you still need somebody who can see, who can install for you. At least GNOME works. The Debian installer, I think, is very good for disabled people. And well, there are still many problems and many things that can be improved for sure. But it's, well, I don't know. Do you guys know any blind people or disabled people who would be interested in making a usability study about GNOME? Because that would be definitely very valid results to provide the developers and designers. And now that we have the Chinese input methods out of the box, and we have the accessibility enabled by default, it's probably a great time to do that. Great idea. Let's see if we can organize that then. Yes, and there's one thing that some people complain about GNOME Shell, is that it has this accessibility menu always here. The thing is that people who complain about it are people who don't use it. Like me, like probably most of the people in this room. We don't use it, and somehow some people find it annoying to have it here if we don't use it. The thing is that if you remove it by default, then you end up in the same chicken and egg situation. People who will need it will have to first enable it, and to enable it, they need it. So, well, the choice was made to work for the people who actually need it, and to have it enabled by default.
You can always disable it, right?
Yeah, you have extensions anyway to remove it.
Yes.
The thing is that if you want to remove it, you can do it. If you want to add it, you can't. So GNOME really tries to make the decisions so that things work out of the box for most of the people, and the people who need to change a bit, they will be able. Or at least the people who are able to change should be the one who have to change if something has to be changed. The more I repeat it, the more complex my sentence is. So I stop and go to the next slide. GNOME is not just an environment, it's also applications. It's to provide a whole suite to the users. One application that received a lot of changes in 3.6 and that will be completely changed again for 3.8 is Web, formerly known as Epiphany. GNOME Web, well, that's the new view, the new overview that 3.6 has, that didn't have before, that all other browsers already had for a while, and Epiphany was, well, GNOME Web was quite late. Eventually, there are plans, I'll talk about the plans for the future later on. Anyway, that's GNOME Web. It's because it's a GNOME application, a core GNOME application, it has some features, some integration with the rest of the desktop. It loses its title bar when it's maximized. It has the application menu over there with preferences, new window, etc. with options. What else to talk about? Web, I don't think in terms of, no, later on in the future. Well, no environment would be complete without a chat application. That's probably one of the things that most people use. That's also a core application that integrates not that well for now with the rest of the environment. That no, the application menu is terrible. I'll show you a bug later on. But well, it works. It's a multi-chat application, so you can chat with your contacts on MSN, on Gtalk, on Jabber, on ICQ, IRC, whatever floats your boat. It integrates with the rest of the system through the notifications, as I've shown previously. It takes your contacts in the central GNOME contacts application that I will talk about shortly. It's really a core application that talks with the contacts. Because we all have contacts, we all have people to talk to. That's the central hub for all your contacts, whether they come from your Google Contacts account, from your local contacts, people you sent in an email to, from your own cloud soon. Hello. Well, it's basic contact application, so you can send an email, chat, call, depending on if the contact supports it. It provides the search results to the GNOME shell that the environment was mentioned previously.